hydrant assessment. Do you have a updated report on that?
There is a significant amount of outstanding streetlight and fire hydrant assessments that have to be paid. The second-class township code spells out a method by which the township can go after those liens. I know that there has been some talk with myself and board members as to how we collect those liens. This is the form for that. Generally, we would give them to us, they have to be filed by our solicitor. And the board will set rates and fees used in the collection of those assessments or those liens. It has been suggested, however, that possibly we could appoint a special solicitor that would handle this, just this particular business individual.
See, our issue that we're faced with is sometimes some of the liens aren't worth going after if you have to pay the attorneys to collect it for us. We don't want to go in a hole and something like that.
And several years ago, there's something known as the Act 20 ordinance that a lot of municipalities have passed. And what it does is it lets you set forth, a flat fee for filing a municipal claim. And that's what your attorney, via our firm or a special solicitor, gets involved in, and that's what they charge. So,
But it's a flat, we know what we're paying up front.
and you would give them notice saying, if you don't pay this bill, you're going to have to pay that plus our filing fees and attorney's costs that go along with it. So,
Well, the flat fee is for who?
it gets added on to the judge.
That's a flat fee for the attorney, the solicitor, or the
Yes.
attorney's firm.
Yeah, it's what the attorney charges the township and what the township can add to the claim.
Well, I guess we figured the higher that is, the less likely somebody's going to pay it. I think the discussion was that maybe there's some attorneys out there that they specialize in that, so they can give us basically a lower flat rate or a lower percentage. We wanted to see, your firm would be welcome to give us an idea too, but from what we understood, there were some firms out there that they do it for a pretty good rate.
But there's definitely some that specialize in it. I'm just saying we need to have, in order to charge the attorney fees, we need to have that ordinance in place.
Can you get that together for us?
Yes. And we can change the rates. It's reasonable is the standard. So just generally what people would charge.
It's reasonable for the attorney firm or reasonable for the...
Reasonable attorney's fees. So,
Will you please do that for us?
yes.
That's an oxymoron.
Pardon me?
That's an oxymoron.
And the second item under new business would be possibly the task done with a safe zone. A safe zone whereby people selling things on eBay or needing a safe place to sell or to exchange their merchandise. If we could investigate, look into that for our residents. Okay?
You said Southgate?
Yes, I've seen it North Strip Main and maybe South Van. Yeah, same kind of an idea. Third issue was Elizabeth, town hall meeting. Could you make everyone aware in Cecil?
Yes, this Wednesday night at 7 p.m. here at the municipal building, we're having a town outreach meeting for this area. Essentially, it's the Route 50 corridor and the mining villages that are close to it, that include Bishop, Dennis, Montour, to Southview, Gilmore, Gladden Heights, Jumbo, Turntable, and the Clear Valley. And anyone else is welcome as well, but it's geared more to the older communities. We've done this for the last 4 years, and maybe we've got a little more coverage this year. And you're all welcome at 7 o'clock. We hope to see you.
Thank you. Under the items of old business, first would be Dawn and the updates on the recycling events or electronics drive.
As asked last meeting, there was a mention of the township holding its own events for electronics recycling, hazardous household waste recycling, and possibly tire recycling. And what I found in some of our investigation was that a lot of these events are too costly for the local municipalities to put on. Many that did participate or had their own programs, such as South Fayette and Peters, are getting charged larger fees. But what they're finding the alternative is the county participates or actually holds many of these recycling events for residents to participate. The drawback to that, of course, is you're sending our residents to Washington County Fairgrounds, which is where the recycling events are held. I mean, I can pursue these events further. The trend is, though, that a lot of times not having enough places to recycle other than the one county event, if we were to hold one here, the amount of space needed necessary for the amount of recycling waste that would come in, the electronic waste, we wouldn't be able to handle the overflow. So those are some of the things that the professionals out there in the recycling world and people with the county planning commission were telling me, passing that along to the board.
I would still think that the need is there. We see the televisions along the side of the roads, and I believe that he should pursue, or you would agree, that just get some numbers or see what the cost associated is.
The Washington County thing is so simple.
Is
I
it?
mean, I drove right up, they drive you through the building, you don't get out of your car. They get in the car, take out they took my TV right out, and then I drove right back out of the building.
South
I
Fayette
bet the
does
whole
the
thing
same
took
thing.
less than 5
Yeah.
minutes.
South Fayette does it.
Yes, they do.
See, South Fayette, they start back up again, Bob, because when I talked to,
I just, my daughter had a one, I just drove right up to the doggone garage and I took it out. Thank you.
South Fayette has since stopped. They've ceased their work. They're looking for someone.
It hasn't been too long that since they done it.
One of the bigger issues out there, as Don just mentioned, is the storage space necessary. We just don't have it down to the work to store tires or electronics like that. I have no place down there to really store anything. I'm hoping that we get some bad weather here so I can empty out my salt storage shed to put my plows in for the winter.
Well, the idea, though, is to collect it and take it and continue it the rest of the way and take it to the Washington Fairgrounds and do that as a service to people, so it's not laying out in Alama fields
It
and.
seems silly to waste money on that, when you can just do it yourself for free. Yeah.
Any other thoughts, anything you want to investigate any further, or shall we leave it up?
I mean, if you want hard costs, I can, before next meeting, I can have numbers for you so that you know per television, for example. The household hazardous waste is a little more involved. There's DEP permits required. That's probably something that it's going to take a little more research, right? As far as electronic events, it's the same people sponsor them. They're pretty much everywhere in Western Pennsylvania. I think it's JBS Environmental.
There are residents that have shown an interest in it. I think maybe we look into it, even if we tried it on a trial basis, 6 months or a year, just maybe get some information on it. Because there is an interest in it, I know from residents that told me.
I'll get hard numbers for the board then, and then you can make that decision.
Make sure there's not a minimum price that before they come out, that you gotta commit to.
You mean like if there's a minimum waste?
Yeah, they don't come out and have to sit down over there for 2 television.
We have rented dumpsters from town. And Don, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the cost of that is like $800, isn't it? For a dumpster? And there's $800. And it gets filled up rather quickly. So, and we have tires laying everywhere. I just made aware of some tires out on Hawn Road out there that need to be picked up. We have them up along Coleman Road. So, well, I think it was last spring we had a dumpster, we filled it up and put it back up in Weaver Town.
Well, somebody's done there, your guy's time that drives out there that picks it up and brings it back, and that repeatedly again, worth the need still there. I believe we should look at the hard numbers, right? Okay. Next item, Dawn, any update on Mr. Ciotti or the hydrant, fire hydrant?
That issue has been resolved. Chris and I were on a conference call with Pennsylvania American Water. They will approach Mr. Ciotti individually about a private hydrant. And that contract will be between him and Pennsylvania American Water.
Excellent. Well, do you have updates on the treasury bond?
Yeah, so as to investigate the treasury bond, the clarification is essentially any monetary revenue that we receive on a monthly basis is what the treasurer should be bonded for. Last year's collection, the highest collection month was May, and that was $840,000. The suggestion was to perhaps up the bond to $1 million. Cost of that to go from what is now $350,000 to $1 million in coverage is an additional $660, excuse me. So the annual bond for $1 million of bond is $1,484, so $1,484.
In the highest month,
The
May,
highest collection month is May. It was last year, $840,000.
but the average is,
But the average
Down to the,
is, I
350?
think, May, June, maybe 7. In September, it's 540,000. But the purpose of the bond, of course, is to cover the highest month available. It's not an average of funds collected. It's whatever that outstanding month is what you should have coverage for.
you have a recommendation, should we have it?
I think the board should consider that.
Any more discussion about it? We've been at 350,000 and
I think we should do it.
okay, we get in the form of a motion?
Yes, I make a motion that we increase the treasurer's bond from 350,000 to $1 million.
Been moved, is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
Well, thank you, Donna. The fourth item of old business would be any information on the microphone system.
I have forwarded to the board a proposal. I had 3 different firms come out. One just wanted to tweak the system. He wasn't looking to add any additional equipment. However, the short and long of it, for the addition of 11 microphones, equipment and installation for that, you're talking around $3,500. That would be for every person that has to have a lavalier or a pin-on microphone.
Hardwired.
They would be hardwired to the XLR jack on the panel.
Is there any interest in following through on that now?
Absolutely. For 4 years, I've asked that this be done. And
I think everyone works slow, huh?
There's always there's a possibility that the representative could be on here as well for our,
Yes, I discussed it with him, and he thought about a live adjustment period so that when the new microphones are introduced, the Clear One processor that's used is a multi-use processor. Those parameters are accessible through a computer. So he would set those parameters live.
and
So he'll be here at our next meeting, essentially. If there's any additions or modifications to the speakers, that'll be something separate, but at least to get the lavalier microphones in, we're talking $3,500.
Is that in the written quote already, or is that just, should we say up to that amount?
Up to that amount, he was not able to give me a proposal before this meeting this evening.
So we can take a motion not to exceed $3,500 for those microphones as discussed.
I'll make that motion.
It's been moved
I'll second.
and seconded. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion carries.
so
Elizabeth,
I said 4 years.
stop bringing it in. I want to bring up something real quick.
Yes. Yes.
Since we have some residents here who may be interested. That ABB property, for a while we looked at it seriously.